You're different from my past, in a good way, and those words carry a meaning far deeper than they first appear. They are not simply a compliment, nor are they an attempt to compare one person against another. They are a quiet realization that healing is possible, that love can evolve, and that the heart is capable of recognizing safety after surviving uncertainty. Many people spend years believing that love must always feel confusing, unpredictable, or exhausting because that is all they have ever known. They mistake emotional chaos for passion and inconsistency for excitement. Yet genuine love does not constantly force you to question your worth. Instead, it gently reminds you that you have always been enough. If you have ever met someone who made you feel calmer instead of more anxious, who inspired trust instead of fear, then perhaps you have experienced the beautiful difference between unhealthy attachment and authentic love. The greatest relationships do not erase your past, but they teach you that your past does not have to define your future. Every experience, even the painful ones, becomes a lesson rather than a life sentence. Sometimes the people who hurt us unintentionally become teachers, showing us what respect should never look like, what communication should never become, and what love should never demand. Their absence eventually creates room for someone whose presence feels like peace instead of pressure. That is why recognizing healthy love can feel almost unfamiliar at first. When you've become accustomed to emotional storms, calmness may seem boring, but in reality, calmness is often where real intimacy begins. A relationship built on kindness may not produce dramatic highs and lows, yet it creates something much more valuable: stability. Stability allows two people to grow instead of merely survive. It creates space for vulnerability without fear of punishment. It encourages honesty without the expectation of rejection. When someone is different from your past in a good way, you notice it in the smallest moments rather than the grand gestures. You notice it when they genuinely listen instead of waiting for their turn to speak. You notice it when disagreements end with understanding instead of emotional distance. You notice it when your mistakes are met with patience rather than humiliation. Love reveals itself through consistency far more often than through dramatic declarations. Grand romantic words may be beautiful, but daily acts of care build the foundation that keeps relationships standing during life's inevitable challenges. Psychology teaches us that humans naturally develop expectations based on previous experiences. If someone has repeatedly been abandoned, criticized, or betrayed, they often begin expecting those patterns everywhere they go. This protective instinct is understandable, yet it can also prevent them from fully accepting healthy love. They may question genuine affection because manipulation has taught them to distrust kindness. They may search for hidden motives because honesty once came with painful consequences. Healing begins when someone consistently proves that not everyone follows the same script. Trust is rarely restored through promises alone. It is rebuilt through repeated experiences of emotional safety. Imagine a person who spent years walking through darkness. When they finally step into the sunlight, their eyes need time to adjust. In much the same way, the heart requires patience when transitioning from fear to peace. It does not instantly forget old wounds. It slowly learns that new experiences deserve new expectations. If you are fortunate enough to love someone carrying emotional scars, remember that your patience may become one of the greatest gifts you ever offer. Healing cannot be rushed, demanded, or forced. It blossoms through understanding, compassion, and unwavering consistency. There is incredible strength in being the person who gently says, through both words and actions, you no longer have to fight for love here. Many people secretly long for that reassurance more than they long for expensive gifts or extravagant vacations. They want to know that they can be imperfect without becoming unlovable. They want to know that difficult conversations will not automatically end the relationship. They want to know that vulnerability will be honored rather than exploited. True emotional intimacy grows when two people create an environment where honesty feels safer than pretending. Being different from someone's past does not mean being perfect. Perfection has never been the goal of healthy relationships. Growth is. Healthy couples still experience misunderstandings, frustrations, and disappointments. The difference lies in how they respond. Instead of attacking one another, they address the problem together. Instead of keeping score, they seek solutions. Instead of assuming the worst, they remain curious about each other's perspectives. Love matures when both individuals realize they are teammates rather than opponents. This mindset transforms conflict from something destructive into something constructive. Every resolved disagreement strengthens trust because it demonstrates that love can survive discomfort. One of the most beautiful blessings in life is discovering someone who celebrates your authenticity rather than expecting a performance. Many people unknowingly spend years wearing emotional masks, believing they must constantly earn affection through achievement, appearance, or perfection. Yet the healthiest relationships gently remove those masks. They create enough safety that pretending becomes unnecessary. Imagine how freeing it feels to laugh without self-consciousness, to cry without embarrassment, and to express fears without worrying about judgment. This emotional freedom becomes one of love's greatest blessings because it reminds us that we are valuable simply for being ourselves. Educational psychology often emphasizes that secure relationships become the foundation upon which confidence grows. Children develop healthier emotional regulation when caregivers provide consistent love and support. Interestingly, adults experience something remarkably similar in healthy romantic relationships. Emotional security encourages resilience, creativity, confidence, and personal growth. When you no longer waste energy wondering whether someone truly cares about you, you suddenly have more emotional capacity to pursue dreams, overcome fears, and become the person you were always capable of becoming. Healthy love does not limit your potential. It expands it. It quietly whispers, "I believe in you," even during moments when you struggle to believe in yourself. That kind of encouragement becomes a powerful force capable of transforming entire lives. Consider how often fear influences human behavior. Fear tells people to avoid vulnerability, suppress emotions, and keep their distance. Love gently challenges those fears by creating experiences that contradict them. Instead of confirming old beliefs like "everyone leaves," healthy love gradually introduces a new belief: "some people stay." Instead of reinforcing "I am too much," it gently replaces it with "you are deeply valued." Instead of repeating "I have to earn affection," it teaches love is shared freely through respect and mutual care. These internal shifts rarely happen overnight. Yet each positive interaction rewrites another chapter of the emotional story we tell ourselves. Perhaps that is one of love's greatest miracles.